that includes the horse and carriage. The logo was introduced in 1962 by Boone Cashin. The color palette used was very simple monochrome color scheme. The logo depicts luxury, royalty, elegance, prestige. We can see that the emblem portrays the high quality and beauty. So, since 1962, the same logo was used, and in 2013, the logo was changed. The current Coach logo has been around since 2007. It appears on all the products manufactured by the company. The emblem, the iconic horse and cart emblem of the Coach logo portrays products' high quality and beauty. Talking about the font, the company name is written in the company's signature typeface, which has proved to be quite attractive and effective. The font name is was unique, so the closest font that was found was AZ Placid Regular. Moving on to the next brand.
This is by somebody else or you've done too?
No, ma'am, it's by Sakina.
Okay. So, what's your personal take on Coach logo after hearing so much of feedback that we've been giving you, me and Krina? Can you
Ma'am,
apply, can
yes,
you
ma'am.
apply some of your learning to to analyzing this logo that is in front of you?
Ma'am, we can see the first logo, the emblem and the typo was like uh, kind of same size and everything. So the focus of the name was getting a little disturbed, and the typeface used was also not convincing and did not make a statement. But as you can see, the 2013 and now logo, it has that statement which makes a statement. The coach and the emblem, they have made it smaller. So, like you told that, and we also saw in the videos that any logo should be designed such that it should work in large scale also and even in small scale also. So yeah, here we can see that it works.
Have you all noticed since morning we've seen so many logos? Have you all noticed the minimalism in color? As in, there is either one color which is being used, or they've not moved beyond two in most of the logos, two or
Yes.
three. So even this is just a single color logo, and the form of this coach is so memorable. If you see it once, you'll never forget it. They've changed it over the years, as I see. It's not remained the same. This form is also evolving,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
it's very unique and one of its kind. Very unique. Yeah. But if reduced smaller than this, I think it will lose all its details. That is one of the drawbacks. I think then at those places they may either use the letter C, they may be using the letter C or just the typeface coach. So they
Yes.
may be doing these things, but you should have, like we discussed in the morning, you should have actually shown in some of the slides how it is being applied across different products. That would have helped us in understanding. This doesn't. It's I can't see anything in this.
Mm,
Focusing on products where you can see how the logo is being used.
yes, ma'am.
So do that. This is going to, when we are saying something, you should follow the instructions because it is only for your learning and understanding. We already know what are the possibilities. If you see it, you look for it, you see it, observe it, analyze it, you will remember it when you are doing your work.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, I'll be talking about the brand Lacoste. Manushi, just move to the next slide. It was founded by Ren Lacoste and André Gillier. It was founded in 1933 in France. So, Ren Lacoste was a French tennis legend who revolutionized the everyday wardrobe. So, it had a very high-end clothing, and mostly they started off with tennis shirts and polos. And but today its range is very diverse. It's not only stuck into apparel, but also into footwear, perfume, leather products, watches, and glasses. So I'll just tell you how the birth of Crocodile emerged. So there was a Davis Cup match in Boston, and there was an American journalist who tagged him with the word "the alligator" in reference to the bet between Jean Lacoste and his coach over a crocodile suitcase. So obviously he won the match and he got the suitcase, and that inspired him to make his company logo a crocodile. And also everybody called him the crocodile, because of the way he plays his tournaments, and also he was a very famous player at that time. Artist Robert George made this logo came to life in 1927. In 1933, the detailed image of the crocodile with mouth open, as you can see in the slide, the first logo, it came in 1933. It was very realistic, as you can see, and vivid with no lettering at that time. Again, in 1984, it was redesigned, and when the crocodile gets its iconic shape, the bold green silhouette feature, it had white details, bold black lettering, and sleek sans serif with thickness in the edges. But again, in 2002, they minimalized it. They redesigned. They didn't worked much on the composition and color palette, but yes, they worked on the emblem. Yeah, the emblem was much smaller, and the typeface was bigger this time, and the details in the crocodile were reduced. I can see solidness and power in the whole logo. Like the contours were cleaned, and it was sharpened, and the number in the next in the 2011 logo also, they reduced the white contours, and they sharpened the edges, and yeah, the white accent was reduced. The crocodile was much smaller, and yeah, that's it. And also, I want to tell in 2018. The iconic crocodile logo was replaced by the depictions of the endangered species, the endangered animals at the Paris Fashion Week. So they had a partnership with IUCN, which is International Union of Conservation of Nature. So they want to aware people about the extinction of the threatened species, and to support conservation actions on the ground. So below there are many logos which they replaced. You can see, so that all of those logos were the endangered species. So I really like that concept because the and also I would talk about the logo, what I feel about it. So whenever I feel that some logos are like Okay, like sometimes the logo is not just about very geometry and everything, but sometimes it's about someone's feelings also. Because as Lacoste was known by the crocodile, so he made that. But that thing made everybody know him, and he was very connected to the name crocodile, and that's why he made it. So yeah, sometimes it's about a feeling also, which we want to put it into a logo. And whenever you can see it in the next slide, uh, Manushi. So as you can see in every product, uh, we can see the logo. So it gives you a very a distinct feeling that and we can see the logo and we will know, yeah, this is a Lacoste logo and it is so remarkable. That's it, ma'am, from my side. Thank you. And also there are years there mentioned when the perfume bottle or the different kind of products were brought in the market.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
I'll just make it very, very quick and very interesting to see the journey of Lacoste logo. A couple of things which have not been discussed. So most of the things have been discussed in previous presentations. Some things which have not been discussed, I'll just point out those particular things. One being that nobody has talked about a dynamic logo. So dynamic logos are when there is a mother brand and there are sub brands, or there are variants under that mother brand, and each sub brand has a similar look and feel. They look like they belong to the same family. For example, if you look at the new MIT Media Labs logo, that's a very good example to look at. What I can do is I can look for a case study of MIT Media Labs, and I think it was designed by a very popular designer. I'm forgetting the name at the moment. Uh, I'm forgetting the name of at the moment. I think it was done by Pentagram. I'll share that case study with you. A very interesting case study to look at. So nobody has so far shared dynamic logos. So it would be interesting to understand what a dynamic logo looks like, and how it gets adapted for the various sub brands and variants that the company may have. That is one thing. And in case of Lacoste, how they're just using the crocodile and they're not using the logo type. This kind of approach only happens after the brand recognition becomes very strong. So, which means, like, if you're a new company, right? If you're a new company, you cannot suddenly drop the logo type, because the objective of a new company is to get recognition, to get the mind space of its users and stakeholders, and for that, they need to reinforce the logo type over and over again. The logo type, like companies like McDonald's or Apple or Lacoste, they're dropping the logo type only after uh, reaching a certain level of recognition, uh, and only then it can be successful. Otherwise, it will be a huge failure. So these are the only 2 points that I wanted to point out. And I need to ask Krina something. Krina, should we, after this group, take a break and see what students have done in terms of their first assignment? And rest of the presentations can come tomorrow? Because we also need to, because some of the groups have already finished their presentations. So they need to get going with the assignment as well,
Okay.
parallelly. So what's your
Okay.
view?
All right. I think we can do that also, but I also want to hear from them if they have also spent time working on that assignment.
So put in the chat box,
Yeah, put
people,
it.
quickly.
Yeah. Have you guys worked on the first assignment? Please put it on the chat. Ma'am? Yes?
Ma'am, in assignment one, we are on the write up, like the one we have to write now in 150 to 200 words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are on that right now, I guess, most of it.
So that had to be done yesterday, no? It had to be done yesterday. We want to see it ready tomorrow. Everybody. We are going to give you a timeline now if you don't follow the instructions. Okay? So deadlines are very sacrosanct in this class. If we are saying you have to be ready, you have to be ready. Okay? So tomorrow you have to be ready, all of you, with your write-ups as well. Okay? Can we just hear your response on
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the chat box? Chat box,
Yes,
everybody write so
ma'am.
that we know that you're still alive.
And I just hope that while other your classmates are presenting, rest of you sit however you want to. But I just hope that your attention is here because that is important. Have your videos off during the presentation, fine. But make sure that you're going through and listening and being attentive because what we're doing right now is going to be very crucial for your understanding when you get on to doing your further assignments because all of this is going to help you. The feedback that we give others also is going to be helpful. So, should we continue with the presentation, ma'am?
Yeah, ठीक है.
So I'll be talking about Givenchy. It is a French luxury fashion house and the foundation, Manashi, next slide. Yeah, so the foundation for this was laid down by Hubert de Givenchy in 1952. And it was he who introduced a luxury ready-to-wear clothing line. So coming to the logo and the typeface, so there hasn't been much iteration done so far. In 1952, when he first started, so there was this symbol, the G, and in all four directions, and this typeface was there. So in the first one, you can see that there's a cut at the top of G and C, and in the newer version that was designed in 2003 by Paul Barnes, and the typeface is known as Mr. Yves Montbold, and the typeface was designed by Susanna Leco. So over here we can see that there is a straight line forming at the edges of the letters, and also the letters are very spaced out, and the proportions in terms of the letters, the length and the width, along with the white space around it, I feel that it is very balanced sort of a thing, and it's a classic sans serif type, and the letters are all capitalized. So, because of the space and the size, the word mark is perfectly legible no matter what the size is, even from some distance. And the symbol that is there, so it's like a quadruple G symbol, and it is we can see that it is often paired with Paris, with or without the symbol also. So, and Paris is used mainly for the perfume collection that the brand manufactures. And the square shape that is formed due to the in the symbol, it is like a straightforward image. And when I first saw it, I felt kind of surprised for it to be the symbol of a fashion brand because it is unusual for a luxury brand to have that sort of a sharp edge, and also the G that is there, it's kind of like forming a spiral. So I get the sense of a movement in it if you see in the symbol. And yeah. So these are the products that the brand manufactures.
and we can see that they either use the symbol or they just use the word mark along with or without Paris. And so we see that Givenchy had a lot of importance and in the Hollywood, especially in the wardrobe of Audrey Hepburn, and she was his muse also. So the symbol, even though it hasn't changed at all, the symbol has been there since 1952, and I feel that that is a very good way to go for a brand, for not go under iteration, because even with the changing times, I feel that if there's no need for the symbol to change as such. So I think that the symbol has been very well designed because it's still sustained.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think this is one of the logos which is, you know, you could also name it as one of the very classic logos where not a lot has changed. However, you know, the typeface, which is something which is so powerful, and I think at times what happens with the certain brands. Kanishka, I'm just going to mute you because I'm hearing myself.
Uh,
Yeah. So what happens is at times the logo, of course, it's a symbol, it's a representative of a certain brand, of a certain company, and at times the kind of what the brand delivers is what helps that particular logo become so iconic that as and hence it creates a recall value and it becomes memorable. So this is one of the examples that we could bracket it into that part, where not a lot of changes have occurred over the years and it has remained quite true to the time it was created. So in terms of form, there's not a lot that one can comment on, but this, as I said, this is one sort of another logos which have become iconic because of the kind of the brand, how the brand has grown. So it is two-way streets also at times. Sometimes in the initial times when a brand is launching or a company is launching, the visual of it, the logo of it helps for it to get noticed with following with the kind of products or what it has to offer. At the same time, such brands and vis-a-vis, that because of the product, it gets noticed and it has that recall value. So this is one of those brands which have done so well in a certain segment that it is, that iconic. At the same time, whether you put that onto a product, there's such simplicity to it that if you use it on any product, whether it's to be printed, embossed, etc., you're not going to have a lot of difficulty whether you reduce the size or even blow it up. So, you know, there's not a lot of done, but yet so much done. And yeah, so I guess that's about it for this particular one. If Kanupriya ma'am is, yes, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to just add that according to me, it also gives like a Celtic feeling in the terms. And yeah, like you said, it's easy to replicate the logo, the symbol, onto various kind of materials and even possible to play around with the size. It won't create much of a problem as such.
Yeah, very good understanding. But look at it's so simple, but it is so elegant, I would say. It's so elegant, it's so well spaced. It gives a very airy, elegant, sophisticated kind of a feeling. So visually, I think it's very, very strong, even though there are no symbols which have been used, but the typeface selection is very thoughtful. These are some of the things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we can move on to the next.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the Indian brand, which is Biba. So Biba was founded by Meena Bindra in
Samriddhi. All right.
Samrit
Yeah, yeah.
Joshi, ma'am.
Please introduce your names because we cannot see you. So, yeah, go ahead, Samriddhi.
Yeah. So the name Biba 86 name is a Manushi next slide. About the logo reflects the confidence, elegance, royalty, dedication, and pride. The logo is inspired by a peacock feather, an Indian motif that represents art and fashion, as a peacock feather captures glamour and is extremely well crafted and intricate, adding a very Indian touch to the logo. The typography for the identity is very clean and bold with soft edges and contouring. Also, the old logo, the typo has been changed to make more classic that endures the time and still stands out as young and vibrant. So while looking at the logo, what I found was together the symbol and typography are expressed in a bright, vivid and red color to place the association with fashion, celebration and womanhood as in Indian culture, the red color plays a huge part for women. So that is what I thought. I'm done for my.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, ma'am. Also, Biba
Okay.
has this variety of making footwear, jewelry for kids and the women.
Women, okay. Now, can you go back to the logo slide? Last slide? Previous, yeah, that's this one. Just stay here. See, the one on top is the latest one?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Somehow visually, I feel the logo is not. I mean, it has a scope for improvement because if you see the A is very different and it stands out of the crowd. Because of the thinness and the thickness of the strokes being very prominent here, making it very light and slightly imbalanced is what I feel. Also, the flower could actually the lockup is not working for me. I think a vertical lockup would have worked more compared to a horizontal lockup in this, which means what I'm trying to say is that the flower could have gone on top instead of being on the side, because on the side if they want to put it, one, it is too far from Biba. It could have been closer and it could have been slightly bigger, because sometimes the measurement may be correct but it needs optical correction. And here I strongly feel that the flower needs optical correction by becoming a little bigger in size. So these are some of the gaps. Honestly, I feel that because if you see BIB standing out and A is it looks like a completely different language because of the thickness of the stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also,
So
ma'am,
yeah. Say
the symbol thing which you were telling, so I guess
yes.
like that is inspired by a feather of a peacock. So that is why it is placed that in a vertical order. But the
No,
one you
it
said
can be
about
vertical. It can, no, no. What I'm saying is you didn't understand. It can be vertical. It can be very much vertical, but the lockup of the logo and the logo type could have been. Yeah, sorry. Right now it is horizontal, right? The lockup is horizontal, which means the whole symbol and the logo type is horizontal in look and feel. If the peacock feather goes on top, then the lockup becomes vertical, and it can be slightly bigger also. I think the logotype, the typeface also doesn't work for me, and it could have been, matched with the peacock form. There could have been some better options there, I feel. That's what my personal take is. And another thing is that you said Biba means a wise woman. What did you say?
Pretty women
Pretty
in
women.
Punjabi.
So, no, actually, I'm a Punjabi, and the Biba word is actually used when we are talking about somebody who's very well behaved, decent, agyakari. That's when we say. That's when we use Biba word more. Maybe in some Punjabi dialects, maybe it's used differently. I'll have to also look up. So
Yeah.
I'll have to look up. I'm not too sure about the meaning that you were talking about.
I actually took it from the Biba's website.
Okay. Or maybe one of the dialects, because Punjabi it also varies from region to region. So maybe it is possible then. If it's on the website, then maybe it may be right.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Samriddhi, have you researched or are there any other logos which Biba had from the transition from when they began to right now?
No, ma'am, these two are the only one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, ma'am, I searched a lot, but at the end, I just got these two. I researched a lot about the logos and everything, but only these two are.
Okay, because and this is just from my memory, I feel there was another one or two logos in between these two, but I'm not certain. I have a feeling there were, and that's why I wanted to comment if they were not
Actually,
added.
there is also a brand in London which is also called Biba. So, like, a lot of people think, like, even at first when I was researching, I got that logo first. Like, everywhere it was like not the Indian brand, but it was the London one. So even I thought that that might be the one, but
No, I'm talking because of because of personal experience, which is why that anyhow. So if these are the only two logos, then you know what you mentioned the points, what the word means. What the emblem over there stands for. But I also want you to comment on the current logo that you're seeing. What is working for you and what is not working? I'd want you to comment on that.
ma'am, when Kanupriya ma'am said about the A, so like I agree with her that the line one with the thinness and everything that is not going with BIB because it is very curvy and has that thickness in it. But with A, it is like everything is going straight on edge and on point. Ma'am, you're on mute.
And if that was, I'm just talking out loud, if that was to be changed, how do you think how would Samriddhi resolve that particular? If you're just looking at it, what comes to your mind that you would have done differently to avoid that particular distinctiveness between the letter A and the rest of them?
I guess in A, in the inner edge, I would have given a bit of a curve so that it gets a bit like it looks a bit similar to the B one, B and I A one, with the thickness and the curve that it has.
So, the reason I'm saying that also is that when you see these, when you understand these aspects, you have to also, as designers, think that what could you have done differently? I'm not saying that do that every time, but while you look at this, what if this was done in a lowercase? If that was then having them together would make it look that they belong to the same family. Of course, the letter A also belongs to the same family, but because individually the construction of it is such that it is not visually making it look in sync, right? And then if you see, there's also when you look at VIB, because there's a repetitive letter that makes it visually, that is again one of the reasons that it creates that illusion at times that that there's more space as compared to the space between A and the rest of the letters. So as designers, you also have to see that when you look at it as a whole, one thing is, there are times where brands create their own typeface and then have them incorporated in a logo. So what is something that here is the icon. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So I think that is all that I wanted to comment. And it's a good thing that you've chosen an Indian brand and its logo. However, I wished that there was a little more information. Maybe you weren't able to find it, but a little more emphasis would have helped. To see it. I think you have a couple of images of the how it appears on the products.
This one.
Yeah, so this is, see, what you've collected here is more of the products than the logo on the products, whether it's the label, what you see at, on the different garments that you see. One of them is here, it's probably one ad that you've used and you've placed it. I mean, it's there that we can see. So it would have been interesting if we could get to see it on, the clothes label. So, and how it appears. However, it does have a very strong recall value to it. Because of the color and because the name is very easy to pronounce. It's very easy and it's very catchy as well. So these are the two reasons why there is a certain recall value which everyone has on their tongue. So yeah, I think that's about it for this.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure who's presenting. Could you just repeat your name? Samriddhi. I'm pretty sure that Biba word does not mean a woman. Biba generally I speak Punjabi, so we generally say Biba Munda, Biba Puttar, which is like which doesn't. I generally use it for male. We don't use it for women.
Okay, ma'am.
My name is Ashna Khanna and I'll be presenting for the brand Stussy. Next slide. Okay, so the logo was initially drawn using a broad-tipped markers on surfboards and sold in the 1980s. The emblem is the surname of the founder, written in this unique artwork derived from the signature of this artist, Jan Stussy. That was the uncle of the company's founder, Sean Stussy. So the artwork was put on T-shirts and shorts to promote the surfboard business from a car.
We are back, I think, now. Yeah. Preena? Can we start again?
Manushi will share the screen for me.
So, Samriddhi, we were talking to Samriddhi, no? Biba's logo was being discussed. Yeah, Samriddhi, I want you to look at the meaning of the word again, because I think your research is not really complete. I think the word means decent and sophisticated and well-behaved son, according to me. So I want you to look into this and bring it to our notice tomorrow, your research findings. Okay? So are there more students in this group, or we are done?
Ma'am, I'm left. Ashna.
Okay. After this group, we will stop and we'll just have a brief discussion, and then remaining groups we will do tomorrow. Yeah, so you're the last person to do this. What's the brand called?
Stussy. So it's a streetwear brand from California.
What is it called?
Stussy.
2C, okay.
Stussy, yeah. So initially, this logo was drawn using a broad tip markers by the founder himself, Sean Stussy, and sold in the 1980s. The emblem is the surname of the founder, written in this unique artwork derived from the signature of artist Jan Stussy, the uncle of company's founder. So this unique artwork was put on T-shirts and shorts to promote the surfboard business, but ended up being the start of an international streetwear brand. This brand was inspired by the trendsetters like DJs, musicians, and skaters. The brand was celebrated by these street subcultures, as this brand identified with the surfboarders, the skaters, the hip hop scene, and the punk culture. So the logo is the graffiti influence on the logo could be seen. It has a distinctive silhouette with sharp ends. The whole thing is bold and condensed. So, all the designs of the clothes or the merchandise is mostly logo driven. Variations of logos have been used on the merchandise over the years, but this brand is most identified by this 2C logo in this graffiti style. This logo has been around for 40 years and and this brand has done collaborations with Nike, Marvel, and Dior. This logo is not very technical, but an art style inspired by the streets and culture. It has this roughness to it, and this logo is the most visible element of this brand. Okay. Thank you.
See, the biggest drawback of this brand, of this logo, is that I'm not aware of this company, and I found it very difficult to read it. So the most important thing for any company, any organization, is that people should be able to read the name of your company. That's the most important thing. How else will you get them to remember? If they're not able to read, they will not be able to remember, and you lose newer audience. Those who already know the logo, have like a association with it since many years, maybe in a different culture, it's recognizable, but to me, I could not read it. So that should not happen with companies. It has to be legible, it has to be readable. Both of these things are very important. So for me, however, I do agree that it relates to the look and feel is very similar to that of a graffiti, and it has that very flowy kind of a look, very casual, and the surfers and all these sporty kind of people, adventurous people would, hip hop culture would relate to a look and feel like this. But for me, it lost its purpose because of not having the legibility that a logo should have. So that's about it from my side.
Ma'am, this logo inspired us whole typeface, and like this is already whole culture.
So yeah,
around the
there
world.
seems to be a cult following to something like this. That's what I'm saying. It's embedded in a culture, and if you're new to it, I'm just giving you this feedback that if you're a new company, if you're a new enterprise, and you're designing a logo for somebody, which is a new startup setup, you can't do something like this because people won't be able to read it. So, I mean, I'm talking about a different context. It may have worked in a different culture, and I don't know how they promoted it. And maybe because it's gained recognition over the years, that people in that culture probably are able to recognize it, already know of it through their parents, grandparents, whatever. But in our culture, I mean, for a newer audience, it will be very difficult. Like, for example, I didn't know about it, and I'm not able to read it from that context. So you look at it from a different standpoint. Okay, it may be justified in a different culture, but to a different audience. But here, in my context, and in the context of new companies, when they are establishing themselves, it's avoidable to go for something which is not legible. That's what you need to take away from what I'm telling you.
So, like about the branding, it was done in the early 1980s. So they used to go to these underground parties, clubs, and just give away free T-shirts. And then this is how there was this kite. There was this international Stussy tribe. They put that thing on T-shirts everywhere. This was kind of like a movement.
Yeah, yeah, that's possible. That's quite possible.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so you were the last person. Can we now stop sharing the screen? People, switch on your videos. Okay, everybody switch on your videos quickly. So everybody present here, I want you all to write in the chat box what's your takeaway from today's session. Quickly, and also and also keep your ears open. What you need to do is all your presentations need to go in the common folder that we've created so that they become accessible, because here you have come out with such excellent information on different brands, how they look visually, how they've transformed over the years, how they've evolved over the years. So this information, I think, should be accessible to everyone. So put in that common folder. I want the one member of each group to take the responsibility and do this today itself. Okay, do this today itself so that everybody is able to, if somebody wants to read further about these brands and how they've evolved, they must do the research on their own. That's number one. And number two, you have to be ready with your write-ups by tomorrow morning, because we are going to be discussing that tomorrow. The videos we've not been able to share so far, but I will today definitely share some videos, and I think Reena also. I mean, we'll together share. We'll have a discussion and we'll share some videos today. And every day's videos and resources need to be seen on that day, because there will be something new which will be added to that repository. So, depending on the stage at what you are. So we want you to do this on daily basis so that you're not left behind. Okay. And number three, is everybody putting in the group in the chat box what their takeaway has been? Nobody has written anything. Come on, people, what's your takeaway been today? Come on, be more participatory. Don't sleep. Were you able to learn something today? Was it a good experience? Write about some of these things in the chat box. And so remaining, how many groups are left now? We finished 3 groups, no? How many groups are left?
6 groups are left now.
Okay. So we'll carry this forward tomorrow also, and what we could do is that, Krina, instead of doing it the whole day, because we also have to parallelly look at the assignments, we can keep this for 2 hours tomorrow and then 2 hours on the next day, and then parallelly we can keep doing the assignments. We can keep looking at what they are doing in their assignment, so that simultaneously that work goes on. So we'll do this for 2 hours tomorrow, and the remaining time we'll look at their assignments. And I'd said that, and I was very enthused about it when I said that we would want to hear about your passions. We didn't do it today, so if you wish to do it, we do have like 10 minutes. That's your choice. If you wish to do it, the people who want to share something about what they do, what they're passionate about, you're most welcome to talk about it.
I think they've put a list together of the names. So
Yeah, if you want to go list-wise, you sure can do this. But the choice is yours. I mean, we don't want to force anything on you. Choice is yours.
you guys want to or not?
या सबको अभी नैप लेने का मन कर रहा है. बहुत हो गया, इतना सुन लिया सुबह से. Only one person has written so far, Sakina. Yeah. Excellent. I think excellent. You all keep writing, but if you all want to go ahead, because at 4:00 me and Krina would have to leave the meeting because we have another meeting to join at 4:00. So would you want to do that? Or no? कौन लोगों का नाम था? Trina, you remember? We don't want to force them, yaar. If they don't want to do it, it's okay.
Tell us so that I think we'll begin the morning tomorrow with that list. Whoever's on the list, we'll have a couple of students. Tell us yes or no. No is also fine. We can take no's. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
tell us.
You
As a
have to be
class.
motivated. Yeah, we don't want to force you.
Ma'am, I guess in the morning it could be better.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the-
Anushi, you're already sleepy. Yeah, understandable. It gets tiring for all of us, and especially this online medium. You continuously with your headphones and shouting your lungs out.
They usually want to take some time to discuss as a group and then tell us. So I'm guessing that is what they want to do, and they will do, and they'll let us know. Right? Yeah? Okay. So you put it on the group, on the WhatsApp group that we have. Discuss amongst yourself whether you want to do it or not, so that we know how we're going to start the class tomorrow. Okay? All right. Hope you all had a very fruitful session today, and will have for the following days. Now we have to excuse ourselves. As ma'am said, we are supposed to be part of a meeting. So have a good day. Work on your assignment. Ma'am, you want to say?
No, I'm just
Okay.
very happy to read what they're writing in the chat
Yeah.
box. Some of the key things that we wanted them to learn
Take
and
away.
register. Yes, it has been achieved. I feel really happy to see the responses, and I would suggest that we can leave the meeting on for some time so that they keep writing and others also keep reading. Is that possible, Karina? We can have
It is
yeah.
possible, but I'm
Make
wondering
somebody
if,
else the
if
host
we
if
go, if they're going to follow it up. Who shall we give the task to?
Yeah, you can just give it to say Manushi, who would then be awake if we give Manushi the responsibility. Or maybe Ankit. Ankit should be given the responsibility. Ankit, you ready to take on the responsibility?
I can, ma'am, but I'm not sure that others will stay in the
No, they
meeting.
have to because we are monitoring the meeting. They have to write, and everybody. I am so happy to read the responses here. I'm so happy because this is what we wanted to be taken away from this session, and it seems to be successful. And I want everybody to write. I somehow see that girls are writing more, and the boys are shying away from giving their point of view. So don't do that. Don't be so shy.
So, Manushi, please take the responsibility of making sure that everybody writes. And while Manushi is responsible, this is for all of you. Please put in so that at least we know what have you taken away from today's session. Anything. You don't have to elaborate a lot, but even briefly, what have you understood? Put it there on the chat box, and we'll read it later. Thank you. And have
Bye, everyone.
day.
Have a good evening and happy doing your work.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.